how do we, at least on the state side, start combating the permanent presence? What's your thought? What's a good game plan to start fighting that?
Well, I think something we've been pushing, and this is it doesn't directly answer your question, but it'll get there. So it's going to be a little bit, a little bit of a long
Okay,
road. Um,
no worries.
One of the things we've been pushing is designating them as narco terrorists because it opens so many doors for us. So if the U.S. government would say Mexican cartels are indeed terrorists by how they operate, what they do, blah blah blah, and we designate them as such as a country, that starts opening up doors. And some of the bigger doors that it opens is the ability to start seizing and locking up assets of anyone who does business with them. So Western unions, the companies that are laundering money essentially for the cartels, the businesses that are bringing in chemicals and saying, "Oh, we didn't sell to the cartels, but it ends up in the cartel hands." So all those businesses, you can start locking those up. You can start seizing their assets. Um, Opens those doors, and then it also lets us get those. The dudes that we have in America that it's like in case of emergency, break this glass, and then those dudes fly out of the sky.
Yeah,
It allows those dudes to go do some of the work they've done overseas in our
the Team
backyard.
America guys.
Team
Yeah.
America guys, yeah. So they get to jump out of planes and they get to go start. Because here's the thing, man. People don't like to admit this, and I guess the U.S. really doesn't like to think about. They don't like to think about how dirty of work it is to do cop work and the military work. And I think other countries have a clear understanding. And I have a buddy that worked in the IDF, and he told me, why you guys can't win is because you're not willing to do what it takes to win. And I was like, okay, break that down for me, bro. And he said, for instance, he says, in the IDF, we chase our enemies nonstop, relentlessly, because we want them to always be on the run and want them to always understand that we're coming for them. He says, you guys and he's saying you guys, US. The US is reactionary to everything. You let people do stuff, and then you're like, all right, you better not do that again. And we wait for it to happen again. And then we're like, all right, we're going to come after you. And he says, no, we chase them down relentlessly. We kill them. We kill, everybody associated with that bad event, just like terrorists. So I think if we open the floodgates on that, we put these bad guys on the run in in their own backyard, in their country, and then it allows U.S. law enforcement to start focusing on the bad guys on this side of the country, right? So U.S. we start focusing solely on these dudes over here that have those connections. Uh, on that side of the border, our military is taking care of that problem to keep them out of our country and to keep them on the run. I think that combination will do part of it, right? That's going to be the going after bad guys part. And then, dude, we have to admit that our nation has to fix itself on the user end, because the only reason that shit's being flooded into our country is because we have so many users.
So we're not being tough enough on it. And two, we need to change the criteria and switch them over to terrorists.
Yep.
Okay.
And that
So
would open a lot of doors and help quite a bit.
okay. So it's not necessarily uh like some of the more opinionated popular fixes I've heard is just legalize the drugs that they're bringing over here.
Uh, that's not a solution. We can see, look at Portland, Washington, that area. That's a perfect example of that's not a viable solution.
Yeah, I just had Chris Foreman on,
Yeah, yeah.
who's
Chris is my
been
boy.
out
Yeah,
with y'all, and we actually discussed that specifically. I said, now, there's people that are going to argue that if you just legalize the stuff, the crime would go away
yeah.
and make it a medical issue.
Right.
And
Well, same argument that if you just keep the police out of everybody's business, that crime will fix itself. We know that's bullshit. It's proven itself as well.
yeah, it gets worse.
Mhm.
Maybe we could fix a lot of the cartel problems if they just solved it democratically and had votes for power struggles and
Dude, I never thought of that. Maybe. Yeah. I mean,
suggest that to them
maybe we just hand out olive branches and say, "Look, guys, we think you've been doing this wrong. If you
yeah,
guys would just get along and
together.
and yeah, and vote,
Yeah,
and
unify.
right, yeah, and here's the thing, like, if you have disagreements, let's sit down, let's talk it through, let's come to a shared understanding, and then we'll move forward. I'm sure that could
Yeah.
work. Yeah,
Yeah. Gentleman's agreement on
dude,
territory, all that stuff.
I've
Or
been doing
shoot,
this wrong my whole career. Holy
just
cow!
just make a super cartel.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, just be what the Mexican cartel.
Right, yeah,
Got you.
and
Boom,
you can
bam.
only join if you're voted in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Standard vote
Yeah,
too. It's got to be majority vote.
that's
Can't
it,
just have.
dude.
And maybe we could even do some electoral votes for the states.
There you go. Yeah, we can get them
Right.
on Wall Street and yeah, dude, we've been
I
doing
think
it
we
so
just
wrong.
helped solve a lot of the cartels' problems
Yep.
for them. Is there any other countries trying to fight these guys?